right, AMA time. Let's get going. This is June 3, 2024. Just going to give a quick intro, guys, for you guys that don't already know who we are. I'm Gareth. I'm the lead designer and games developer for Space Guardians Online and Defverse.
And I'm John. I'm the founder of Defverse. So I just want to talk about, we're just going to be talking about some few things for this AMA. It's only going to be, mostly it's going to be about development of Space Guardians and our decentralized application. We will probably throw in some, insights about how we're going to market our, our game when we have it ready and what's coming for us when we actually have the product ready for you guys. To start off, then we should update them with the progress of our current, the current stage of our development for Space Guardians. Gareth?
Yeah. So basically, we finished fundraising back about 4 weeks ago now. So this is the first real update that we're going to put out there onto social medias. This, of course, you'll probably be watching this on YouTube, no doubt. And basically, in the last couple of weeks, it's been very much preparation for implementing the network, the new network component to the game, to Space Guardians Online. Beforehand, we've been very much working on menus, and you've seen all of the updates. And if you haven't, then you can head to the website. You can look at the demos that we already have there. We have obviously the upgrade system, the inventory system, mostly back-end and menus that we were working on, infrastructure up until now. And now is the time that we actually get to start to work on the fun stuff, on the arena, the visual stuff, the stuff you can play, shoot and, earn points and whatnot. With that, there is a lot of documentation to learn, because over the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've been digesting an incredible amount of information in the form of the Unity netcode for game entities. And, I've mentioned this, I'll not get too much into what it is, but it's a way basically for us to run the game optimally and to put immense amount of network components and visual components on the screen at any one time using the power of Unity netcode. If you want to learn more about Unity netcode, you can go onto Unity's website or go onto YouTube. There's tons of information about what that is and why we're using it, or why people would use it, why developers use it. So I'm not really going to get too much into that now. The actual networking part of it, the networking component, like I said, we went from using Photon, which was our initial, this is what we want to use for matchmaking services and lobby services. However, Unity have got a really comprehensive package out there. It's and the netcode and the Unity services just makes no real sense to move to a third party like Photon, especially given that we were using Pun 2, which is actually deprecated now. It's only in long-term support. So for the future, to prevent future issues when that comes out of long-term support and is no longer updated, this could take 2 years. The Space Guardians might take 2 years to really thrive and to really hit that kind of 1 million player base, which is what we want to hit, of course. But to get there and then find out that one network solution is actually redundant at that point would be it would be a catastrophe. So we made the technical decision to move to something that's definitely going to be around in 2 years' time. Unity netcode it's very new on the market. It's very comprehensive. It has everything from, well, put it this way, like services like Apex Legends use these type of solutions, and so that the battle-proven, the time-tested solutions, and we know that they're going to be around and they can handle the scale that we will require in the future. Right now, I'm testing it in a sandbox environment, and over the last 2 weeks, I've been starting to put together a basic matchmaking service using kind of what I call thin clients. Thin clients are essentially AI-generated players, and getting them to connect to the server and having them it literally right now just establish a connection. and because obviously that's step one to building this part of the game. Beforehand, in the previous updates, we did like the development of the game. We built the concept. We then built the arena, or we made the world. We popped the graphics in. We got the spaceship, the player controller moving. So we did it very kind of get the playing stuff working first. In networking, unfortunately, you've got to do it the other way around. You have to establish the connection, get the authentication, get the entities in the game, and then start building around it. And kind of because we're only kind of in the first month since we finished fundraising, that's kind of where we are with it still. Sorry, were you saying something, John?
No. I just want to update them with the actual contract as well for the NFTs. As I mentioned before, actually, we were talking about it. So we've actually finished the contract with the platform NFT with all the functions with the play rewards mechanism. That's the very important part of our smart contracts, right? But we are actually making another one, but it's going to be a very, very simple contract. It's going to be a separate contract with within our collectibles NFTs, where the pink sale NFTs and Captain Caddy and all that. We're going to make a separate contract just for that. So we don't actually populate the Play for Rewards contract with different types of NFTs, which will make it more difficult for us to actually have everything in one place. So, it's just to tidy up things a little bit. But yeah, I think, creating this contract is going to be very, very easy. It's just literally no functions, just code it on Solidity and then deploy it on the mainnet as soon as possible. And I will start sending out the NFTs, the pink sale NFTs and whatever we are going to be giving out in the future. Captain Caddy, even Neon as well, Nancat, all those good stuff. But yeah. So good news, we have the NFT contract ready. It's going to be tested now on testnet, and we will be deploying that in the mainnet as soon as possible. Once we have everything ready, and I will start sending out and migrating all the people with their current NFTs into our new contract, and then hopefully we can start selling our NFTs as well, and we can start promoting and we can start pushing marketing again out there. But our plan is to actually have it when we have something playable for Space Guardian, so we have something to show and we have something to promote. We are also looking for another secondary marketplace for NFTs, which will eventually promote our sales of NFTs as well. And it's just to promote our buying activities and trading, selling our NFTs. And we also need to finalize the deal with WeRent as well. So we'll be giving them our new contract, and then they can review it, and then they can integrate it within their own decentralized application, which will benefit us. Will benefit both ways, actually, because they are getting tax from us, and we are getting something from them as well, which is their community base, and their community base is obviously into NFTs, which will get us more exposure from their side. But in terms of marketing, we'll wait for something playable. We can push that so they can actually use their NFTs, even their collectible NFTs in their game, with their cosmetics, whatever. We will plan that, but obviously it's not going to be as soon as possible because we are more focused on actually having the gameplay out there, the multiplayer game out there. And I know everyone here is so eager as well to actually have the final product here. Especially you guys, the moderators, and our community manager and all those. All of our current members here in the global, we really want something to show them so we can push something. We can start, giving our full power for the marketing side of our project.
Yeah, so there's a lot to still work on over the next 3 months. We did say that we'd have something kind of working. It's very likely not going to be pretty in. It's definitely not going to be anywhere near close to completion in a retail state. However, we don't really need to have the game in a retail state. We just need to have the game visible, and whether that's squares and circles running around shooting squares and circles, or whether that's spaceships firing fancy visual effects and destroying bases with great awesome graphics going on. Really, you know, ideally it's not going to be squares and circles, of course. There will be models in there, but, you know, a lot of the models will not be fully animated at this point. A lot of the visual effects might just be, you know, I don't want to use the term slapped together because that's a little bit crude, but yeah, a lot of they'll be in a very base form, where, you know, there will be room for tweaking and, you know, making them, you know, through post-processing effects, make it a lot more pretty. But the idea is to get, right now at this stage, it was to digest the information for the network and get all of that stuff ready to go. So, you know, I'm prepped. Next month, so through June, we should see I've actually already started start to see the demonstration of the client server connectivity. I have actually just hit a bit of a complication in the sense that I actually have to create headless server instances, which is again server and lobby. The idea of going into a lobby where you connect, you authenticate with the server, you then get put into a queue of people who are looking to join the game. This is what we call relay or matchmaking, and then that goes to relay server. Relay then sends them, okay, I've matched 10 people, let's push them to lobby now, and then that goes to lobby, which is another part which, you know, I have to code as well. And once that lobby system's done and we've solidified 5v5, 3v3, whatever it may be, we then push that to game. And it's that point. This is the part I'm in at the moment. I'm dealing with the initial setup of the server. I'm working in a sandbox environment. I'm using a very manual process to kind of launch the server, launch the clients, launching a fake client so we can test. But it needs to be kind of, it needs to be industry ready, right? It needs to be in a state where you connect and all of this is happening autonomously in the background. And I'm not doing this by hand. And that alone, there's a discrepancy between what I'm building right now and what needs to be built. But I have to build what I'm building right now to test so that I know it works. And then I can overwrite, you know, or exchange the code and put it into the relay lobby and the matchmaking services, which is all handled by Unity and by, actually it's all handled by Unity services. So we use Unity services lobby and relay service, which handles the matchmaking. The problem is, you know, there's lots of things we can tweak around. We can handle skill-based matchmaking, which is a huge thing in competitive games. And we will have skill-based matchmaking. We need to have it. And we can sort people by region, we can sort people by latency and lots of other things. So that gives us the tools, the toolkit we need to really get the game into a production ready state. And that's just connectivity. We're not even talking about the actual game mechanics yet. We're literally just talking about connectivity, getting people into the right servers, getting them connected into the right lobbies and preparing them to be able to play a game. Once that's done, this is the month of June. I hope by the end of this month I will have that all set up, solidified, and working seamlessly. And after that point, I start working on the actual arena. This is the point when we already have a player in the game. We have like a very, very basic, you know, land, massive land which you can walk around on, and then from there, I start adding things like AI entities, you know, towers, whatever it may be. And we start building what you would expect an arena or a mobile arena would look like. And again, in the month of July is going to be very primitive based. It's going to be, again, I use the term squares and circles because that's essentially what I'm working with at the moment. I work with squares and circles, keep it very primitive. I don't need anything fancy. I just need to know that the mechanics, the meat and bones, the engine is working. And once that's working, I can start to then replace the not so pretty stuff with pretty stuff. And we can start to see, you know, some of our assets in there, visual effects. You start seeing, you know, things like gameplay mechanics, which would be things like, you know, entities walking down in lanes, destroying towers, attacking each other. And, of course, all the things like controllers and stuff need to be implemented around that kind of July, August period, with the aim of having something very like a visual based demo where you can see things and you can actually see the progress we've made over the last 3 months around about August. And in September, that should be when I'll be aiming to get it actually out into your hands, and whether it's closed alpha or whether it's open alpha for the community to play. It should be, that's the kind of timeline we're working with. Try to get it out by September, so you guys can actually download the game on Apple or iPhone, Android, or the PC, and be able to connect to each other no matter what kind of net. Because remember, we've always said this is going to be cross-play. I wanted to be cross-play because it really opens. It helps with its exposure, but also it's going to be a lot easier to sell a game which is cross-platform. It's especially one where you can start your account on Android and then go home and play on your PC and play with the same account. There's no kind of problems with that. You look at a game like Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty has Call of Duty Mobile. It's two completely different games. Although now they do use a kind of Activision use the servers to kind of sync stats now, but that's only come very recently. That's not how we want this to be. What we want is a truly cross-play game, cross-save data, where you can log in from day one with your Android account, and then 3 days later or 3 months later, 3 years later, you can go back and log in with PC and play the exact same account that you started 3 years ago. And that's going to happen from day one. And it's complicated, but I've already put that in. I've already built those systems. That was part of the infrastructure I was building towards the beginning of this year. So we already have that ability. We already have that. It works. Now we've just got to kind of build the arena, apply the game mechanics, enjoy a game against your friends, and then get a score, and then transmit them scores to your personal account, and it'll all work seamlessly. But that's where we need to be, guys. That's the timeline. We are working. I'm working daily on this. So, unfortunately, again, I am working this by myself at the moment. So it's just going to take time. We will. Oh, sorry, I'm coming through your microphone, John. Sorry, I thought it was. We will get the updates out to you guys. We're sorry this one's been a little bit delayed. This is our first AMA since we finished fundraising, which has been about a month ago now. And we do our next one probably in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll have something a little bit more to talk about. Maybe I'll even have a client server demonstration available by then. Who knows? But the idea is to give you guys some actual tangible evidence that we're actually developing, because we know there are a lot of people out there who are saying, what are these guys up to? They've got the money, they've run. We're not going anywhere. We've dealt with this for 2 years. We're working on this every day. And unfortunately, the marketing, it just can't happen right now. There's nothing to market right now, guys. We've only got what we already had, and that didn't work. We already proven that through Pinksale. We tried Pinksale. We tried to use the 2 years of development logs, the 2 demos that we had there. We tried to use the little bit of community power we had, and it just didn't work. And so we're not going to entertain that again now. We're literally going to focus on the development, get something visual, get something actual tangible in your hands that you can play, that you can connect to, and finish a game, and then watch your results. And once we have that, then we can market. We've already got the partnerships in place. What Pinksale did for us was it gave us the ability to secure partnerships. We met with a lot of good communities and a lot of potential partners for the future. We've dealt with people like Immutable, which is an immensely powerful platform, which we will benefit hugely from. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting into Immutable once the company's registered and we have that demo available. But again, as John did say before, everything comes down to the same question. Do you have a demo? Do you have a playable game? And right now the answer is no. We don't have an arena. We have a playable game. You can go mess around with your inventory and buy stuff, but that's not what they mean by a playable game. What they mean is, can I go kill something? Can I get a high score? Can I beat my friend in the leaderboard? And the answer right now is no, you can't do that. So that's what we're working on. That's where we will be in 3-4 months' time. And when that happens, we can really, really push the marketing strategy and get the ball rolling again.
Okay. So I think, Pinksale actually learned a lot from Pinksale. in terms of connections, in terms of partnership, and also we've built our team. You guys, and I can assure you, our team is way better than what we had before. Because you guys are still active here. The investors whenever we're not around. But yeah, we'll focus on the game. I will focus on development, and we'll do our best to actually get the product out there, so we can actually start pushing our marketing again and hype up our Defverse. And also, I need to mention as well that I will be migrating our token contract to a new one before we release the game. So in that way, we can actually push the right market cap and also the liquidity, because I know it's not showing the right amount on DexView at the moment. So we'll do something about that, and hopefully we will increase the liquidity as well along the way, which is very important.
Super, right. Well, I think that's pretty much everything we needed to discuss, guys. It is, well, I would say short and sweet. It's probably been half an hour, has it? But it's everything we need to discuss. It's where we are right now. We've already discussed where we'll be in the next kind of month development wise, and hopefully again I can give you a demonstration of that in the next 30 days or so, demonstrating the connectivity, ideally with the relay and the services. Maybe even get you guys to create an account and connect to it yourself. There'll be nothing to play at that point. It'll just be connectivity. Like, listen, let me get in the queue. Will the lobby service allow me to connect with other players? And if that works, which it should do at that point, then that's fine. The next step is to actually build the arena. Is to actually start building the movable characters, the AI, and all of the stuff like that. This is a 3 to 4 month process, guys. I know sometimes Long likes to suggest it'll be ready next week, but it's definitely not going to be ready next week. We estimate it's going to be around about September. We do appreciate you checking in, and we'll keep these development logs or these AMAs going, bi-weekly. And if you guys do have any questions, and either leave them in the comments below, we'll answer them. Or you can send us an email. It's just admin@defverse.online, and we can always respond to you there. With regards to marketing, guys, again, you guys who are sending us lots of marketing information and registrations to centralized exchanges and all that, that's not happening right now. We don't have any plan to register on them in the next 3 to 4 months. So please, just you're wasting your time. But everything else, development-wise, we're on track. We're moving in the right direction. We just need time. So we'll update you again in about 2 weeks' time. Don't forget to check the Telegram. And if you have any questions in the meantime, our beautiful community staff and moderators and stuff, they're already there. So just drop them. If they can't answer a question that you have, then they will forward it to either me or John, whoever's better equipped to answer the question you have. And yeah, we'll get the answer to you as quick as we can. In the meantime, guys, thank you very much for all your support. We know it's very long-winded and it's going to take a little while, but it's definitely going to be worth it. By the end of 2024, Defverse will be on the map, and we will start, really hitting the numbers and getting people playing the game that we've been spouting off about for the last 2.5 years. Right, okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I've been Gareth. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you again for our next AMA.